Welcome back to Chasing Chips. It's been a minute. I know it's Thanksgiving, all the stuff, all the holidays. I hope you guys had a great one. We're very happy to be back. Um, yeah, man.
So
Basketball.
are you going to be selling your James Harden stock anytime soon, or you still think that you guys are going to need some time to figure it out?
We still need some time to figure it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's yesterday. I mean, the game against the Nuggets was a rough one. I went to that game. I was in attendance, and just from the jump, I was like, they don't look like they want to be here. This is not good. It's like they learned earlier in the day that Jokic wasn't playing, and they said, ha, we're going to walk all over these dudes. And that's how I felt the first quarter. And it just was one of those things where I'm like, all right, this energy's got to pick up. We got up by 11, and then that James Harden play happened. When he didn't play defense, and then he came down, let the ball roll all the way to half court, and then went to go pick it up and kicked it, and then Peyton Watson picked it up and scored, and they went on a run after that, and then it just was downhill after that. The biggest thing for me was I did not think in 2023 that my basketball team will be getting killed in a pick and roll involving Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan. That's what I couldn't understand. They were running that pick and roll like they've been running it for years, and they could not be stopped. We'll go over, blitz the top, fall back after the pick and roll. DeAndre was getting dunked. It looked like old DJ. I was like, my gosh, this looks like Lob City. What is going on? we can't stop this. Reggie
Yeah,
at
that was crazy to see.
35. Like it was one of those like games where you're like, you should walk in the room like, all right, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna blow them out. The main three of the top three guys aren't playing. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And it didn't
And also,
happen like that.
what's crazy too is that Michael Porter Jr. like their starters, their original starters, MPJ and KCP, both played terribly. 3 of
Terrible.
13 and then 3 of 14. And who killed y'all was Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan,
It's
which is just wild.
It's wild. And the thing is that we heard more was that Kawhi was our top scorer, but our second top scorer was Zubac, which is fine. But I don't
Is
know
that
how many
fine?
games we're gonna win if Zubac is our second best scorer in a game. That's not how Paul was, in foul trouble early, so that he never could catch a rhythm. And that, that's what happened because every game before that he was cooking. So I'm like, oh, he gonna come in and cook. We're back home, had a day's rep, just had a great game against the Mavs, you know. And that's why everybody was like, oh man, we just played really well against the Mavs. Let's go into this week. Now we got the Kings and then the Warriors twice. Hopefully this is a wake-up call that we got to play defense and not play down to our competition. But we played terrible yesterday. It's just
I
it
don't
was
know.
just it was just a tough watch. Tough
I'm gonna go
watch.
back on what I said before, and I still think there's a problem because I relate to like the issues that y'all dealing with because it's a similar narrative with the Suns and the Clippers, and the point being of like, oh, there's only one ball and you have like ball dominant players. The thing about the Suns, why I think it works, is because our three stars, we are very top heavy. Uh, they do have the ability to play off the ball, and they're pretty good off the ball. Devin Booker with Chris Paul, KD with Steph, and then Bradley Beal with, he played number 2 for a while when
Injuries.
John Wall was there,
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that. So I don't think that your three stars play off the ball very well, personally. I think Kawhi, especially in the fourth quarter, wants the ball. I think Paul George doesn't like. I mean, he's probably the one that I would say that is the better of the three that can play off ball. And then James Harden needs the ball in his hands all the time, And I don't think like are they moving at all? Like I feel like they're not cutting, they're not moving when they don't have the ball. Is that a problem? You watch more Clippers game than any of us. Is that a
It's
problem that you
not a
see?
it's we get glimpses of it. Like there's moments where when we both went up by double digits against the Nuggets yesterday, that's what happened. People were moving out the ball, knocking down shots, cutting to the basket, throwing lobs, setting a good pick and roll, dumping down, hitting the guy in the wide open in the corner. People shooting with confidence. And then it revert back to I'm open, but I don't want to take the shot. I want to pass. I get the extra pass. Sometimes we go through these moments, 5 or 7 minutes of everybody wants to be unselfish. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good. That's why, the games PG was cooking, he's putting up like 25 to 29 shots. And people are like, oh, that's a lot of shooting. But that's because he's not hesitating. And when he doesn't hesitate, he's great. And I feel like that's the same thing for Harden, Kawhi, is that when they don't hesitate. When Kawhi gets to the basket, I feel like sometimes he should just go up. He was getting guarded by Braun, Peyton Watson, and he would get to the basket 8 feet away and then pump fake. And I'm like, bro, why are you pump faking? Just shoot the ball. If you miss, it's better miss than whatever we're about to get if you pass it out. I'm okay with a tough shot from a Kawhi, a tough shot from Harden, a tough shot from PG, than a okay shot from T-Man or something else, anything else. I'd rather you want your star shooting the balls. You shooting the ball, you're like, all right, shoot it. And I think sometimes that's what happens. They feel like they're about to take a bad shot and they try to pass it, and the next guy's not ready because they think they're going to shoot it, and that happens a lot. And that's one of the things I think everybody just got to be a little more selfish, a little bit more selfish.
Still out of shape, which is a problem. Hopefully that'll get resolved at some point in the season. And then I think the problem that you guys are facing is that Harden is just a liability on defense. And Kawhi's getting worse at defense. Paul George is, I think, relatively the same. He's always been pretty good. Kawhi's been I feel like Kawhi's been not as focused or dialed in during the regular season.
I think Kawhi is playing the LeBron defense. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is really good at defense.
Playing no defense. Huh? People are getting past him. Reggie Jackson was getting past him like it was nothing. James Harden was playing absolutely zero defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just him. Second half, I could tell he was not, he was not good. He was just tired. A lot of games in the past 5 days. It is what it is. He's not in shape yet. And he'll get in shape. But, I feel like Kawhi's on that, LeBron defense. He'll pick and choose when he's going to play tough defense. Because there's times where he was playing tough D, and there's times he was just chilling. And LeBron has done that in the last few years. He turns his defense up in the fourth quarter. He turns his defense up in the playoffs. But during the season, we've seen moments where LeBron's just like, all right, he scored. It's whatever.
Yeah, right.
So I think Kawhi is on that type of wavelength.
LeBron has that excuse because he's LeBron. James is not LeBron, so he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that privilege to play such terrible defense. I think that's a huge problem. And then you got Russ that's still arguing with fans, and I wish that would just she would just. I understand that there's no excuse for fans making heckling, and I don't know what was said as well, but also if you're Russ, man, come on, just be the bigger person. You don't have to make a huge scene about it. It's just gonna distract the whole issue. I don't know. It's part of me is I'm always gonna favor the NBA players and give them the benefit of the doubt because they are the entertainment, they are the show, and the fans are not. I don't watch NBA basketball games to see what the fans are gonna do. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
The other part of me is dude, you're an adult. You understand that people are gonna say things. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that I hope he can look past it and not make it a thing every time y'all losing because it just distracts I guess the reflection of okay, you guys suck and need to get better. This is you're diverting your anger and frustration on a one fan that's screaming, but there's probably thousands of fans that are screaming stupid shit, and this is in your house. He's probably a Clippers fan, and I just feel sometimes you just gotta go the mature route and just ignore these dumbass fans. But
that was definitely a sense of frustration. It set in. It set in. It set in, and it set in real. We are about to lose. to this team. We shouldn't have lost. And this fan is obviously somebody that looks like ain't never played a game of basketball, yelling at me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, so he's doing this to him, like, use your head. I can guess it's like, use your head, man. That's a bad pass. What are you doing out there? And Russ saw it and was like, bro, you don't look like you played the game. Like, what the fuck? Like, what you
Why are
don't
you
like?
arguing with the fan though? Like, why are
That's
you
that's
like?
I'm with
I
you.
mean,
I don't know why he's
unless
arguing with
there's
him.
obscenities, like unless there is like
Frustration, bro. It was
yeah,
frustration. Like I said, that's what happens. You know that after we played pickup against some guys and we lost the first game. We both were upset. I'm telling you, if somebody was heckling us after that first game, I would have been talking shit back to him. Like I'm like, bro,
right,
I'd be like,
yeah,
bro, don't talk to me. Don't act like you know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing out here. Because I was
right.
upset at the time that we lost to these three scrubs. Yes, we came back and smacked them the next two games, but
Yeah.
I was really upset that we lost to them. So I
Mhm.
think that's what set in. Like I'm upset, and now this dude that absolutely doesn't play basketball is yelling at me about me using my head. Don't do a turtle. Use play better.
You didn't play
Dog,
bad, honestly. I mean,
I
you had
don't
the
need
air
that right
ball.
now. You're a fan at home, like, and that's fan etiquette. That's why I know that person's not a Clipper fan because
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I
not going
will
to yell
say
at your own player.
Westbrook, went 5 for 9. He did airball a free throw, which was crucial, but then he had 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Only 2 turnovers. Like that's ideal. I think that's what you want from Westbrook, honestly. So
Yeah, it was a
I wouldn't say that Westbrook is to blame. I'd say one, why isn't Terrence Mann shooting the ball more? Personally, that's
bro,
what.
man.
And
Oh my gosh, he don't want to shoot it. He's like terrified. It makes me. And this. Remember, I talked about that at the beginning of this season. I said T-Man needs to build confidence in shooting the rock. Bro,
Yeah,
you got to
but Paul
shoot the
George,
ball
it's
like
on Paul
5
George.
times.
This is on James and Paul George though. Paul George being in there for 36 minutes and only getting 6 points is a problem. Like I know he's in foul trouble, but he played 36 minutes, and how you're supposed to be the number one option. This is supposed to be Paul George's team. Like there's no
Yeah,
excuse. Like I would say the same thing if Devin Booker got 6 points in a game that he played 36 minutes for. It's inexcusable. I
it
think that
is.
this
It
is
is.
probably this is all on Paul George, in my opinion. James Harden is still getting back to game shape and he's a liability on defense, but this is Paul George's team. That
I
can't
I
happen.
agree. I think so, and I think because of how he was cooking the past 6 games, that this like that type of drop off threw the team off because they're used to getting at least 20 from him.
Yeah.
If he does his normal 20, we win this game with ease. But I think I think he was guarding Reggie for some point, and then Reggie's cooking and getting in foul trouble. It just messes. You never get in the flow, and and like you said, there's only one ball, and to get in foul trouble and not get in the flow and play that long, and Kawhi's cooking at the same time, so you're trying to find your in and out, and
Reggie Jackson's so
watching
funny to me.
yesterday, it just felt like he was overdoing certain moves at certain
Yeah.
times. But then again, I know he does that because he's trying to catch a rhythm, you know,
Yeah.
and catching rhythm and it's tough. Well, you got a lot of guys like that on the team, but the biggest thing for me, and I know that game sucked for him. I understand that, but the constant thing is T-Man not shooting the rock. Like I love his defense and his rebound is great, but bro, you gotta shoot the ball. I feel like you gotta shoot at least 2 or 3 threes. Just shoot it. Like we're finding him open and he don't even shoot the ball.
You got to let it fly. You got to shoot with
Yeah,
confidence. That's
gotta
why
shoot with
I had
confidence.
that same feeling with the Kogi. And like I understand you're a terrible 3-point shooter, but if you're open, you got to shoot that. Like, or you got to drive, or you got to do something. You can't just stutter. You can't get stagnant and like hesitate. You got to make a move, whether it's
Mhm.
drive to the basket or shoot the ball. Like you can't just hesitate because that throws everyone's off rhythm and just it isn't good for the flow of the game, I feel.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna bounce back against the Kings. I think it's one of those games where like I think after it's gonna be a
That's
tough
gonna be
one.
tough.
It's gonna be tough, but like look it, they
You
got
guys
to
aren't
like
looking good right
after.
now. I mean, it's luckily there's only been what 16 games.
Yeah, but after Monday's
You're all
loss, that's a wake up call, man. There's certain games you have at the beginning of the season that's a wake up call. Like everybody was like, "Oh, the Mavs blowing y'all out." Was that a wake up call? I'm like, no, that wasn't a wake up call. We were only 2 games in as a team, or 3 games in as a new unit. That was going to be a difficult game. This game, though, at home, none of the top 3 players ain't playing. We have a full squad, and we lost. That's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
This is one of those that's got it. You guys got to be. They got to be like, look here.
But that's basketball, man. I mean, that's
we can't fucking do that no more.
Well, we see this every year. We see it like, a team should win. There's no excuse not to win, and they somehow find a way to lose.
You guys have woken up, though. The Suns. Let's say the Suns. Suns woke up. The 2 losses to the Spurs in a row. Y'all been awake now. Woken up.
I'll tell you what the difference is.
Those 2 games were like,
whoa. Yeah. You know what the difference is? Devin Booker. Devin Booker. As soon as he's back, man, like I'm telling you, this is Devin Booker's team. Not throwing shade at KD or anything like that, but Devin Booker is the leader of this team. He's the connector. He's a playmaker. He's a shot maker. He's been great on defense too. So, I mean, I think I'm seeing a lot of great signs from the Suns right now. And, it's going to be great when Beal gets back. But I'm not rushing him. It seems like we're all right. It seems like all the other players are getting the minutes that they need in order to like get their rhythm going. And if we have to rely on them in the playoffs for a rotation spot, then hopefully they'll be ready. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. KD's playing at MVP level. Book's playing at MVP level, in my opinion. And they're both averaging around 30 points per game. And Book's got, his assists, I think, are like an 8 or 9 per game, which is incredible. And, all the other players are stepping up. Like Nurkic is stepping up for what he can do. We got Grayson Allen is playing well. You got a few of other role guys that are playing really well. Big KBD fan.
When that Booker shot, leading to his right, he said that, that's one of his favorite shots to shoot. When he goes up there, he doesn't see nobody. He said he's open. He's open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough shot. I mean, but if you have seen Book make that shot before, I think he made a similar shot like that versus OKC, but he's playing off ball. I mean, I like the people were saying like, oh, he didn't want the ball. I think that like a Knicks announcer, I was watching a replay and they said, Booker didn't want the ball. No, that was a design play.
That's the design play.
Was, when they come with the double team, he's going to give the ball to Goodwin and then he's going to go get the ball again. So that's a design play. So it's not that he was looking to pass the ball.
He didn't even
he knew it was going to be in his hands. Didn't hesitate at all. I would say that's probably the most difficult shot you can shoot. But to Booker, like he's on his own level. He's top 5 player in the NBA in my opinion. So I think I'm fine with that shot. He shot with confidence. And back to what you were saying. If you shoot that with confidence, then
shoot it with,
whatever. It is what it is.
Whatever. Hey, that's what I'm saying. If your best player is shooting it with confidence, you're like, all right, bro.
But it wasn't a tough shot.
You're gonna make it. I'm with that. But
yeah, I mean, but if we can beat these teams, I mean, the Knicks are no joke. Like they're a good team in the East. I wouldn't say that they're like top 3 contenders, but I'd say that they're like a tough team in the East. And we beat them without Beal and KD and Grayson Allen. Like that's solid. I'm happy with that. And I'm happy that we're winning basketball games now with Beal resting up. Let him get as much rest as he needs, and we'll be back at full strength. I think people are saying that once Beal is back, we're going to have issues with like defense and stuff. We'll see. I don't know. A lot of people have opinions on what's going to happen, but I guess we'll find out.
Beal don't have to move. There's one thing you know about Beal. If he don't play defense, he's still going to give you at least 18 points minimum. And that's still with 30 and 30 from the other guys. You got to play defense.
Stagger these guys. Like, you don't realize that, like, rotations, like, lineups are going to be staggered. Like, we're going to have, probably Book just do his thing with his own lineup with all the starters, and then KD and Beal, or, like, some sort of mix to where we're always going to have one of them on the floor. And that's going to be tough because one of them on the floor is going to be difficult to guard,
And that's what I feel like always talking about when these teams like this are like, oh, how they're going to play defense. This person can't play defense. And I'm like, you have to play defense too. That's at the end of the day, your team has to play defense too. Is your team's defense better than us or one defender not playing defense? If that's a no, then you ain't winning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
And we're no
that's where
slouches
I'm
on
like,
defense either. Like I think a lot of people are just like not really watching the games. I mean, like right now, I think we're 7th in defensive rating. Yeah, we're 7th in defensive rating in the NBA. So y'all can bite me for all that
yeah, like
nonsense.
people. Clippers lead the league in steals. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
and we lead the league in blocks. So
Oh,
come at me,
somebody playing defense.
bro.
We're playing defense somewhere. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, all right. Like, are we top? Now we're 22nd defensive rating, but but
Yeah.
we're playing a little bit of defense. We can get
I
in the
mean, that's where
passing
that
lane
Frank
very
Vogel,
well.
that's where that Frank Vogel coaching comes in play. Like he is a defensive minded coach,
He
So that's
is.
we knew that offense was going to be fine. We needed to focus on defense, and that's what we're doing. So I mean, like, yeah, we might not have like a team full of Mikal Bridges and Jaren Jacksons, but we got just enough to like maintain. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets last year. The Nuggets weren't necessarily a great defensive team, but they were just good enough to win a championship.
That's true. That's true. Um, the teams that are surprising right now is the Timberwolves. I think that's the most surprising team so far. I think hands down the most
Magic,
surprising team so far.
not the
But
Magic.
we wanted to do this already. We're already 16 games in, and I already want to do I was wrong segment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna start off by saying I was wrong about OKC. I was wrong. I knew Chet was gonna be good. I knew Shea was gonna be good, but I did not know as a team they were gonna be this good. Now they got a little problem right now. They got off the court problem with one of their players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Josh
Uh,
Giddey, I don't know. There's a lot of I think Andrew Bogut just said that the girl lied about her age, but it's just like, where did you get that information, Andrew Bogut? And like, why are you providing a response on this? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
it's the
I
very
don't know enough information, but I also it's a little sus. Like,
it's a little sus.
it's a
It's a
little
slippery
sus,
slope.
Josh. And anyone saying that it's like
I do think he shouldn't be playing. That's what I do think. Like,
who was I wrong about? Who was I wrong about? I'd say there's a couple teams that I'd like to list off that I was wrong about. There's a few teams that I was right about. So let's start with those. I
no,
was right
no,
about the
no.
Timberwolves.
Don't start with those. Don't start with those. You just
Okay.
start with the wrong. You always got to
Okay.
start with the no.
Fair enough.
Start
Fair enough.
with
Fair enough.
what you're wrong about.
All right. I was wrong about the Sixers. I didn't think that they would figure it out. I still don't believe. I think Tyrese Maxey is great. I still don't think that he is to the star power that people think that he is, as far as like one of the best guards in the league. I think he's great. I think he'll be there, but just not this year. Personally, that's just my thought. I don't think that that Tyrese Maxey being your second best player is. I don't think he's going to win them a championship, but they're playing well and they're gelling, and I love to see it.
So, and the reason why I disagree with you at that point when you were against them, it was before the trade. And when the trade happened, you still didn't think they were going to be good. And I was like,
Yeah, because they
I
got
don't know.
dog shit. They got dog shit.
They didn't get dog shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They
Rocco.
got the perfect amount of role. They got the perfect role players. They got the perfect role players for that team. They
And you
needed that.
got some doo doo. It seems like a PJ Tucker. Why are you even playing that dude?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's really good in the playoffs. But they got Rocco, Batum, Martin. I know Martin's not playing as much, but Batum and Rocco, I knew would fit perfectly for that team. Those are the type of guys they needed. Guys that are going to play defense, guys that are going to make shots, but just going to be really focused on doing the dirty work. And that's what the Sixers needed, was people that can just do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Max is going to do his thing. Embiid's going to do his thing. Tobias is going to do his thing. But they needed two other guys that were going to just dirty it up, muck it up. And that's what they do very well. And that's what we miss. And I can see we still miss it. We don't have a guy that mucks it up. We thought PJ would be that guy, and that ain't it.
I mean, who else was I wrong? I mean, I'm not necessarily wrong, but I just didn't even think that they would be in contention right now. Is the Magic? The Magic are just like a bunch of dogs, dude. They're playing well, and shout out to Bancaro and Who else they got? Jalen Suggs is playing out of his mind right now. I mean, just like in regards to hustling, like I feel like they just got a bunch of dogs, a bunch of like underrated
Wagner
players. Like
brother.
Wendell Carter Jr. Is he playing right now? Wendell Carter
Wendell
Jr.
Carter Jr., man. Every Bulls fan are so upset they gave
Yeah,
him up.
I was always a big fan of. That's a great contract.
Yeah, me
But
too.
is he playing right
Gave
now?
him up for like, oh man. But no, the Franz has been playing great. I
Yeah,
mean, I
Franz is
think they
great.
got they got 2 All-Stars on that team right
Who?
now this year. You know,
Who?
Banchero
Who's
and
second?
Wagner. Franz and
Oh, you
Wagner.
think Franz is? Oh, so Wendell Carter Jr. isn't even playing.
Yeah, he's not playing.
Is he
But
hurt?
yeah, Franz and
Is he
Banchero are
hurt or
definitely
something?
All-Stars. Yes. If
Oh,
they
okay.
keep playing this well until January, they're gonna make the All-Star team. They'll get
Is
2 guys
Franz
on those.
is Franz like that right now? Is he playing
Yeah,
full
Franz is
level?
like that, bro.
Yeah,
He
he's
like
playing
that.
pretty good. Jeez,
He
he's
nice.
sweet.
He
20,
nice, bro.
30 points, 27
Ain't
points.
nothing more and ain't nothing better to have your big brother on a team and you the little brother cooking.
Yeah, nice. I mean, yeah, it's good to see a fresh face or a fresh team in contention. So love to see that. Another team I think is Dallas, who I thought that would kind of like suck, but they've been playing pretty well. I still don't think that they're going to be a great team at the end of it. Because I don't think they have enough like talent
Who?
on that roster. The
Who you
Mavericks.
talking about? The Mavericks?
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah, nah, man. They I think they're good one-on-one game. I can't see
yeah.
them winning series. I'm with you on that.
I think
I
they'll
can't
sneak
see
in the
them
playoffs
winning
for sure.
multiple series.
Yeah, I just don't see the Maverick like they've had some guys that have stepped up. Grant Williams playing
Yeah.
well for them, but I just don't think that they have enough talent to really like make it last. Luka's
I
gonna
think
get tired.
it doesn't hinge on Luca or Kyrie. I think they really need that third person where it's gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be the guy. And I think for me, the guy needs to be Derek Lively. Like they need to really
Is he like
get
that, Derek
him.
Lively?
I think he brings a dynamic where you have to play a certain type of defense on those two guys because if they get to the bucket and anybody leaves him, all you got to do is throw it up
Yeah,
and
but
he gonna catch it.
he ain't scoring at all.
He ain't. But I think if
Averaging
they
8 points.
how much he
Averaging
averaging?
8 points.
I think that they get his average up to like 14. Like I think they become a more of a threat. I think they need to really embrace him as the third guy. I think he can be, you know. And if you embrace him as the third guy, I think they will be better. Because he's gonna bring it on the defensive end. It's not a problem. You're not gonna not see that. But you need to embrace him on offense. Like get him some touches. You
What's that?
know,
This trade that happened? Do you remember?
Porzingis.
Um,
Oh, like 2 years ago when he came from the Wizards to
no,
the
to the
Dallas.
Wizard. Was it?
Oh,
Was it? Was it to the
or
Wizard?
was he
Was
Mavs
it?
to the? He been all over the place. Where he went to
Yeah, he
Knicks?
has been all over the place.
Oh, he went from the Knicks to the Mavs.
He went Knicks to the
Yeah,
Mavs, and then Mavs to the Wizards, and then Wizards
yeah.
to
Celtics.
the Celtics, right? So what was that trade? So it was Tyus Jones, Gallinari, and Mike Muscala, and the 35th pick for Kristaps. That was a dumb trade.
Yeah, nobody won there. Nobody is even on the teams on there. No one won on either side after looking back years now. Nothing from that trade is like who was the 35th pick? That's the only one I want to know. Who was the 35th pick of
It's
that
not
draft?
till it's 2023 NBA draft.
Oh,
I
so
don't
it's
even
just
know.
last year
Yeah,
or
I don't
this
even
coming
know.
year?
Definitely not worth it though. That was a bad trade. If they would have
What
kept,
was the
I feel like
NBA
if they would have
draft?
kept Porzingis and somehow got Kyrie and Luka, that would have been a nice little team right there. But anyways, don't really watch Mavs games, so I'm not gonna pretend like I do.
Yeah, no. And so finally, the biggest thing that's been happening over the past 2 weeks is the in-season tournament. Obviously, everybody's been watching it, but the thing that a lot of players are crying about is the point differential. You know,
Gang gang.
obviously, there's something.
That's how we're gonna get in.
Yeah, that's how this. I know you with it. You love it.
Wild card.
uh,
Wild card.
throw the wild card, baby.
Dude, I don't know how we
Oh
got in,
man,
but we got in, baby.
I think obviously if you know soccer, that's how soccer does it. They do point differential, because goals are tough to get, and when you get a lot, it's really good. In the NBA, it's a little weird to see guys going hard, but some players don't care. Pia spoke upon like how he doesn't care if you playing like scoring the last 20 seconds of the game to the end to the beginning. Like you didn't have a problem the first 47 minutes and a half. I get it. I'm one of those people that don't care.
I don't
But
care
then
either. I
again,
don't
you
give a
got to
fuck.
know the
Like,
rules.
why would? Yeah, I mean, like, so the whole reason why we're probably gonna get the wild card, anyways, unless like I think like Timberwolves have to get like 38 points, something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason why we're gonna be the wild card is because Booker chucked up a three in the last few seconds of that Grizzlies game, and then increased it to a point differential that Pelicans were, I think, a point or two short of. So if you wouldn't have made that three, then we wouldn't be. Then the Pelicans would be in there as that wild card most likely. So
And
I'm
and
all
that's
for
what
it.
I'm saying. I think if you know the rules, then you know it might happen in the game. Look down at the floor. It's a different game. In season tournament, your floor looks ridiculous, or it looks really, really bright, or it looks cool. Who it depends on what team you are, but that's an indication that people can score all the way to zero. Now, if it's the normal floor and it's the normal game, not in season, and somebody's chucking up shots at the end and they're up by 10, I'm still not gonna go get mad, but there's a little bit. It makes a little bit more sense for you to get mad.
No, it does. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just like you lost. Who cares? Who cares if you get another 2 points? Like it doesn't matter. Like unless it's like a shady thing that's happening with like betting spreads, then that's a little,
Yeah, no one knows that. I
sus.
think,
But I would say that if you're a player and a guy's scoring, like you should have been more attentive. Like when it, like, to your point, should have been more attentive earlier. So that's on you.
I think, I think what players get mad about is if somebody's been playing like 35 minutes and they're still trying to score the last 30 seconds of the game. They're like, "Whoa, you're winning, and you played a bunch of the game." I wouldn't get mad at guys that are garbage time, like barely getting the game. He's trying to get his bucket, trying to get his first NBA point. He ain't got one yet. He's trying to get it 30 seconds to go. They are up by 20. I'm a score. I'm sorry.
Who cares? Only
If
people like
I ain't
PJ
played,
Tucker or like I think the last one I saw that was like super upset was PJ Tucker and DeMar DeRozan when they went at Lance Stevenson.
oh,
You
yeah,
know, but that's like the whatever. Who cares? Get off the court. Like you lost.
yeah,
Focus on the next game. Whatever.
yeah. And I think the biggest thing for me is that those know the rules.
Yeah, it's an
That
old
is a
head
rule.
take. I feel like it's an old head take. Like
Yeah.
it's the new generation is coming in, and turns out they don't give a shit about that. So, all the old heads can be done with it. Once they
Yeah, it
retire.
reminds me of the Cam Newton quote. Like, look, if you don't want me to celebrate, stop me from scoring.
Right.
Like, if you don't want me to score, stop me. If you're just gonna let me walk to the rim with 10 seconds to go, I'm going to put the ball in the rim. Like,
Right.
why not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're
But hey,
incentivized to score. Players stats matter in today's NBA. So it's just like these players are trying to build their stats. Create wealth for their families. So I don't give a shit. Whatever.
yeah. But appreciate y'all listening, watching, chasing chips. Hopefully we have a better week on the Clipper side for the rest of the week, that we just start winning these next 3 games. 3-game winning streak. Here we come. Yeah, let's get back on the winning train. And best of luck to your sons.
Yep.
See you in the conference finals, as I'm gonna keep saying.
We'll see about
Thank
that.
you for listening to Chasing Chips. I'm Charles. This is Josh. If you ain't chasing chips, then what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
All right now. Peace.
Peace.